Hi everyone, this video is for those people who want to start generating and editing images with AI and maybe do not know what tools and platform to use for that. Additionally, this video is for those who do not like using Photoshop or maybe do not know how to use Photoshop but still want to create or edit images. I'm going to show you the exact three tools I use. In my image generation and editing process, I use only these three tools, and they are completely enough to create and edit any type of image. The first platform is called Freepik, another platform is called Canva, and the last one is called Photopea. I think it's worth mentioning that none of these platforms sponsored this video, and I do not even have any affiliate links to them. I'm just sharing what I use, and I believe these three platforms are more than enough for anything related to image generation and editing. So additionally, two of these platforms are absolutely free and only one of them is paid. Now, let me explain what I do in each of these platforms and why I think that these three platforms are enough for any type of work with images. And by the way, you might see that Photopea is a tool similar to Photoshop, but I mentioned that Photoshop is not one of these tools. The reason for that is that I absolutely dislike working in Photoshop, and 60 to 70% of my work with images happens in Freepik, and 20 to 30% happens on Canva, and only maybe 10 and 5% happens on Photopea, and that's not even always the case. And let me walk you through the exact process I use to create or edit my images. So the first and the main tool I use is Freepik, and this is the only paid tool among these three. And I pay about $40 per month, but you might even sign up for a cheaper plan. So why do I use this platform? Why this platform specifically? What is so nice about it? First of all, it has a huge variety of different AI tools you might think about. And not even AI tools, but also just image editing tools and video editing tools. So this is basically the list of all the tools it has. It includes all the most up-to-date AI tools like Google Nano Banana, Flux, different video generation models, but we're gonna talk here only about images. So the main tools I use here is image generator and image editor. This is the image generator I was talking about. It has multiple different AI image generation models, as you can see here. The main models I use right now are Google Nano Banana Pro, Nano Banana 2, and Flux, different Flux models. These are the main models I use, and the huge benefit of this platform is that you can add tons of different reference images for elements. Elements basically means your product. You can add your product here as a reference. You can add multiple reference images, characters to keep them consistent, colors, styles, etc. You can also choose the image quality when generating it, and additionally you can choose any type of image ratio. It's very nice and straightforward platform to use, easy to understand, and this is where I spend most of the time generating images. Additionally, this is image editor. Again, the same platform, just different tab, and I just opened a random image just to show you some things that are available here. You can edit the image using a prompt and choosing the image generation model that you'd like. Additionally, you can erase stuff from your image. You can crop the image here. You can remove the background. You can change the camera angle, rotate it, you can upscale, and adjust the colors. So that's a huge variety of different tools you can use in infinite different ways. And that is why I like this platform. So you might say, why not just to create one subscription for Google Nano Banana or for Flux model? Because you will not get such a variety of different tools and options if you sign up just for one specific model. So what I do is I generate images here in Freepik. Then after I generate these images, usually I come here to image editor and I edit those images somehow. After the editing is over, typically what I would do is I would go to Canva. Why? I have opened one of my recent projects to show you an example of what I do on Canva and how exactly I use it. So let's say I generated this image on Freepik. So here you can see it among the images that I generated. So then let's say I edited it. The image is ready, you might think. Why do you need Canva? Canva is a very nice tool to mix different types of images. What I mean by that is, let me show you, let me create a duplicate of this page. This image is not actually just one image. It's actually a combination of several images. Why is it done? Both of these images, this one, as you can see, is just a cropped image. This is the same image, but it was cropped, and some places, as you can see, there is a hole in it. Some places in it were erased by me. Why was it done? So it was done on purpose. I generated both of these images on Freepik and I edited those images there. But the reason I brought those images here on Canva and why I missed them is when you edit images with AI, what you usually run into is one of the two problems. The image either gets changed a little bit, which you usually do not want to happen if you like already the image, or what happens is the quality gets much worse than it was originally. This is very clearly visible after 2 or 3 edits in Google Nano Banana any model, Google Nano Banana Pro or 2, whatever model you use. This will be the case, and I do not like my image losing quality. That is why what I usually do is I create the base version of the image and then I edit the image, changing the things that I do not like. In this case, it was the sky. I did not like the sky, so I generated on Freepik. I edited this image and created a different one with better sky. And what I did later is I brought both of these images here and I simply combined them in such a way that they like blend in naturally. Why I couldn't do this on Freepik is because you simply cannot do such manipulation with images on Freepik. You cannot crop and combine in such a way the images on Freepik. Additionally, why I love Canva. By the way, I do not even have a paid subscription here. Canva is an amazing platform. It gives you so many tools, so many options for absolutely free. And one of the amazing options it gives is image editing and adjustment of the image. It allows you to click and choose the object in the image. For example, what I often do with Canva is adjust the brightness or adjust the contrast or colors in some certain way that the client prefers. For example, if the client does not like the color of this specific can, and that's a real example, what I can do here is, without losing the quality or without changing the rest of the image, I can just pick this specific can. I can click adjust. I can just scroll down, choose this color and just change it to any color. And nothing else will change in the image and the quality will not suffer. So in that terms, I can also make it more black, I can make it more bright. So you understand, I guess, the point. And that's an amazing additional tool where I go after my base images are ready. After all the elements of my image ready, if I need to combine them, I go here. And otherwise, if the image is still of a good quality, I can just download it from Freepik and use it as it is. But sometimes I'll just come here and mix the images so that they do not lose quality. Now you know how I use Freepik and how I use Canva. You might ask, why do you need this Photopea? You promised us no Photoshop at all. Yeah, I know, but there are sometimes small details that you just need to use Photoshop for, because they are so small that you do not want to generate the entirely new image for that, because it might take even more time. It's just simply easier and faster to fix them manually in the tool similar to Photoshop. It does not necessarily need to be Photoshop. That's why I use Photopea. It's kind of free Photoshop. I do not even have an account there. So in this specific example, when I applied one image onto another, what you can see is they do not really blend in absolutely perfectly. So you can see these lines right here where they kind of touch the frames. If that's the correct way to describe it, but I guess you understand what I mean. And in such cases, I simply download this image and then I open this image on Photopea. And what I do here is, as I mentioned, I do not have any deep knowledge of Photoshop. I just learned some basic tools in Photopea that I need for my daily work. And one of such basic tools is this spot healing brush tool. What I would do with it is I will find these places where it looks bad, and I'll simply do something like this. And you see, it fixed the problem. If I could Control Z and show it how it was, so this is how it was, and this is how it got fixed. So this is basically how I would use Photopea, just to fix such kind of small inconsistencies and stuff like this. Additionally, how I use Photopea is for fixing my main image background, because I often work with Amazon main images and AI simply is not capable of generating the background that would be pure white. I typically come here to Photopea and open the layer. I have a separate video about it. What I do is I make the white, almost white background pure white here in Photopea, and that is done basically in several minutes and does not take much time and does not require any deep knowledge. So these were the three tools I use for my image creation and editing process, and these are the three tools I recommend for you if you plan to do something like this. And hope this video was helpful, and wishing you good luck in your image generation and editing process. Bye.